Hello and a huge welcome to this video. I'm Scorpion from How To Do, and in this video we will be learning how to make a weapon, how to buy a weapon system or like that. Press F to buy weapons. So if I press F, the camera like zooms in like this and transitions like that, and we have different weapons over here. We can select any weapon. Let me just go ahead and select AK-47, and now that is gone over here. So if I press F again, we are gonna come out and we have this weapon with us. So it's not over there anymore, it's with us. So we have taken the weapon. So yeah, that is the thing that we are gonna make today, and this is what we made in the previous video. So we were able to change the clothes. So if I press F over here, we're gonna change clothes. Like we can change to blue, we can change to white, we can change to gray, we can change to gray, and this is black and this is green. So yeah, we can change to any one of them, and yeah, this is what we made in the previous videos. So if you want to learn how to make all of this stuff, then go ahead and make sure you subscribe to my channel, and let me just go ahead and show you guys how to make this weapon bot system. What should I call it? How to buy a weapon system, or how to what should be the title of the video? Alright, I will have to think about it. Alright, so first thing what I did is I went ahead and downloaded the 3D models of the weapons. So the links will be in the description box below. I have a pistol, I have this what is it called, MP5K, then there's M4, then there's a M24 I don't know the names of these guys, and then there's AK-47. Alright, so I downloaded them and placed them in here. So I just made this a silly kind of a table over here. Alright, just a simple table, and I then went ahead and added the box colliders to all of them. So box colliders to all of them, and then I also added a rigid body to them, so just to make sure that they fall right. Alright, so when I play the game now, you will see that they will land quite nicely on top of the table. So yeah, that's why I just added the rigid body. With that done, let's just go to the table and go ahead and say right click, create an empty game object, and I will call this trigger because this will be a trigger. And I'm gonna go ahead and move up and say box collider, not 2D, sorry. Remove component, box collider, the 3D one. Alright, and then I'm gonna go ahead and make it come over here and maybe make it a little smaller. This will actually detect if our player is over here or not, and I'm gonna come in this and make it a little bigger so that our player can collide with it. Alright, so yeah. Okay, and make sure it is trigger because it is a trigger, right? So make sure it is trigger. Then go ahead and say add component and say FSM. So if you don't have FSM, or if you don't know what Playmaker FSM is, then make sure you see the video on how to make games without writing a single line of code, because Playmaker FSM is actually an asset that allows us to make games inside of Unity without writing any code. Alright, so if you don't have Playmaker, then you can download it for free. The link will be in the description box below. So let's just go ahead and say edit, and this is the FSM. So when the game starts, we are gonna come in this state 1, and we wanna say trigger event because we are dealing with the trigger. So trigger event, and the trigger which we wanna say is the on trigger enter. So whenever something enters the trigger, and that something with the tag should have tag player, and make sure you go to your player. So in my case it's Franklin, and make sure it is player. Alright, in the tag, so just a player. Cool. And then I'm gonna come back to trigger, and whenever the player enters this trigger, which is this area, we are gonna go ahead and say check. We're gonna check if the player presses some certain button or not. If he does not, then we're gonna come back. Alright, so we want to check whether or not the player presses a button. So we're gonna check that by get button down, and the button which you want to get down is any button. Alright, so in my case I want it to be F. I already have made it in the previous videos, so I'm gonna just quickly show you guys. Go to edit, project settings, and in there go to input, input, and whatever the number over here is, you have to just increase it with 1. All right, in my case it was 29, so I increased it with 30. And then the last one, this guy will be duplicated, so I just changed the name to any name. In my case I named it change, and the positive button will be the button which will be the actual button, and in my case I want it to be F, so I have written F. So I'm gonna copy the name. Make sure you copy the name, otherwise if there is a spelling mistake or something, then that will be really bad. So if we get button down change, which is F, if you wanna go ahead and say select a weapon, I guess a weapon. It's really dark over here, so I cannot see the keyboard, so yeah, add transition, select weapon, and go ahead and say control click and make a transition to that. Plus what we want to do is we want to copy this guy, so control C, control V, and when the on trigger exits, so when the player exits it, we're gonna say finished, so control click on this state and go over there, and instead of check we want to say finished. So bam. So now if you play the game, you will see, look at this guy over here. When the game starts we are in this state. Alright, so I'm gonna make it smaller so that we can see our player actually. Okay, so now if I come over here, we are gonna go to that state, and if I come back, we're gonna come back to that state. Okay, and if I press F, which is F, there we go, we are now in that state, so it means we are gonna select the weapon. So when we come in that state, we want to do something actually. But before I do anything, I want to make some kind of a UI that tells our player that you have to press some certain button. So in order to do that, I'm gonna go to my canvas, the canvas which we made in the previous video. So if you haven't seen the previous video, make sure you do that. Yeah, make sure you see that. So we made this do you want text in here, so it says press F to change clothes, and I'm gonna go ahead and make it little like centered out, change clothes, like that. Okay, and bring the press F to change clothes to like center it out, right? Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna just control D, so duplicate that, and instead of press F to change clothes, we're gonna say press F to I can just bring this 2 back over there. Oops, we have to duplicate and disable that one because it's overlapping. Okay, okay, so press F2. We want to select weapon, so I'm gonna say buy weapon. I cannot see my keyboard. I'm typing blindly actually. So press F2, buy weapon. Weapons. Okay, weapons, and maybe 1 space in here. There we go. Cool. So press F2, buy weapons. This will be enabled whenever we come in this state. So whenever we come near the table. So I'm gonna say activate game object, and the game object which we wanna activate is specify game object, and drag and drop the do you want text which we just made over here. We're gonna enable that, so this means deactivated and this means active. So copy this guy, paste it in here, deactivate it, and paste it in here also, and make sure you deactivate it. So now when we play the game, it will be activated whenever we come near to the table. Now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and see if I can do that. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and duplicate my main camera, so paste it in here, and I'm gonna press F to focus inside of here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and come near my table and say Control Shift F to focus my camera over here. Alright, just like that. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and make it come a little down a bit, just like that, and then maybe increase or decrease the field of view and make it a little up. Okay, there we go. So now it looks something like this if I disable my canvas, so that, yeah, so this is now the camera looking at. All right, so yeah, cool. So make sure you do that, and then I'm gonna go ahead and drag in my camera inside of my table. You don't actually have to do it, but I'm gonna do it in order to, you know, just clean things up. All right, and maybe I will just go ahead and delete all of these planes because we don't actually need those planes. Okay, cool. Now what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna go to my trigger and say edit, and in here I want to say activate another game object, so control C and V, and I'm gonna go ahead and drag in my camera inside of it, and I'm gonna activate it, the camera that is facing this direction. Alright, and then copy this component because we don't want this camera to be active whenever we play the game, so paste it in here and make sure, yeah, just delete. Okay, so paste that in both of these states so that it is disabled when the game starts, and whenever we come in this state, this camera will be active. So let's just go ahead and play the game and see that this camera will be disabled automatically by the script. There we go. Cool. And then we can walk over here and press F to buy weapons. If I press F, this camera gets active, so that is cool. But as you can see, I can see my player over here and he can walk around on its own. That's not what we want. So what I think I should do is I should actually deactivate my player also. So copy and paste and drag in my player setup and disable that. Alright, and now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and make some kind of a transition that, you know, some kind of a transition when we move from this camera to that camera. Alright, so if I come over here, press F, it just snaps to that. Alright, so I don't need that snappy thing. I want to make a kind of a fade in thing, so we can go ahead and add a state over here and say weapon select, come over here, and I'm gonna go ahead and say fade out. So camera fade out 2 seconds and then finished, and then we come over here, so it's gonna, the camera will fade out kind of like that with the black color, so that will look really cool. And let me just quickly show you guys how it looks like. So there we go, we can come over here and press F. Oops, okay, it takes some time, so 2 seconds are not good enough, so I'm gonna go ahead and decrease the time to maybe 1, or let's just call it fade in, I guess. Fade in, yeah, and with 1 second. I think that will be the good choice. waste my time on it because I don't have to do. Actually, this is not the thing that the tutorial is about, so I'm not gonna waste my time on it. But you can of course spend more time on it, making it accurate. So with that done, the last one is remaining only, and do that and that again. And the links to all of these guns are in the description box below, so you can download them. And if you want, you can download your own, like the ones that you like. And yeah, there we go, quite nicely set up. Okay, so all of the guns are set up. All right, so as you can see, all of the guns are over here, and we can disable them for now, just for now. Okay, and then what I can do is I can come out of here and select this guy. Okay, so the guns are over there, also over here. Now one thing what I think we should do is we should give them separate tags. So how we do that is we go to tags and say add tag, and here is the tags menu. So we can say plus over here and we can add a new tag. Now I'm gonna give the tags to all of these, so I think I will just add the names of them over here. So I'm gonna say AK-47. all right, and then add another one for, where is it, what is it called, M24, M24 I guess, or M24 underscore R, M24 underscore R. Okay, and then there is M4A1, M4A1, and then there is, what is this, 1911 and M5, no, MP5K. okay, MP5K. There we go. So every tag is now set, and now we can just give them. So AK-47 goes to AK-47, this guy M24 goes to M24, M4A1 goes to M4A1, and 1911 goes to 1911, and the last one MP5K goes to MP5K. Cool. And also I think we should give them the tags too, or not. No, let's just leave that, because we are giving them these guys tags because we want to detect which object have we selected. All right, so which object have we just clicked, like this. So we have to check if this this thing has the tag 911, no, 1911 911, or this guy has the tag of M4A1, and then we are gonna enable that thing over here. So this is the logic. All right. Okay, so now we can go to our trigger. So where's the trigger, and say edit. Okay, so when we select the thing, we are over here, right? So we are gonna just go ahead and do that. So there we go, and now we have to add in these things over here. So what I think we should do is we should say mouse pick. All right, so that is mouse pick. So it is okay. Store the game object into a new variable, test object. All right, test is, we're gonna test which object it is. Store point, store model, store distance, no, I don't think so, we will be needing that. And then we're gonna go ahead and say game object compare tag. So game object compare tag, no, game object compare tag. Okay, both of them are the same, so yeah. Okay, so we're gonna compare the tag of the game object that we just stored in here, so the one which we just clicked, and then we are gonna check that. All right, so the tag which we want to compare is all of these. So how do we do that? So I think we will have to duplicate them. If it is true, then we will see about that later, but let me just do that and copy paste and just do that and do that. All right, and do that, and then do that, and just delete that one. So I have all the tags in here, so all of the tags that we just made, and whichever is just selected, we are if it's true, then we're gonna say AK-47. Or what I think I should do is I should go to events and just add the events like over here altogether, because otherwise it will take a lot of time. So AK-47, and delete this one, and then M24, then what is it 9 no M4A1 already, M4A1, and 1911 I guess, and then M5 MP5K. There we go. So all okay. MP5K. Alright, so all of them are done, I guess. I think so. Yeah, I think so. So AK-47 goes to AK-47, M2, this one goes to this one. Yeah, M4 goes to M4, 1911 goes to 1911, and this one goes to this one. Cool. So everyone is now done. Alright, and then we can of course add all the transitions. So this, then this, then this, then this, and then this. So 1 2 3 4 5, and just go ahead and plug them in. Alright, so one thing I did a silly thing over here. We just have to go ahead and do that and make a new state over here, or no, you can delete it and bring all of this plus this down a bit, and then we can make a new state over here and set this guy over here, and then copy everything above this guy, mouse pick and copy that and paste it over here and delete them from here. Alright, and then we're gonna say get mouse button down. Alright, get mouse button down, the left one is good, and then we're gonna say select weapon, and then we can come over here, and then it's gonna mouse pick, and then it's gonna do that. Okay, and it's gonna come over here. So now it should work if we play the game now. Let's see, it should pick at least one of them. Alright, make this smaller and come over here, press F. Okay, so now we are in that state. Alright, so whenever we click that thing, we are gonna come in this state, and then we're gonna compare, and then we're gonna go in these states. So if I select this one, it goes right to it, and this one is M4A1, so this one is also M4A1. But of course we cannot select anyone else because we are stuck in this state, so we have to do something. But let me just quickly check that out if the other guns are also working. So let me just go ahead and check someone, at least some else, like AK-47. So AK-47 should go over here in these state 5. So AK-47 state 5, so quite nicely working, right? Okay, so now we have to do some things, like we have to equip that weapon, plus we have to get out of the state also, right? So how do we do that is, first thing I think what we should do is we should disable this thing whatever we just selected. Alright, so how do we do that is we come over here and we can say activate game object, the one which we just specified over there, like the test one. So test game object, and deactivate that just like that, and copy this guy. So copy, paste, 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 paste. It means that this test object can be anything. Alright, so it can be this, or that, any gun, and whichever state it goes, it will be a variable, right? So it's gonna just be disabled, so any one of them can be disabled whichever we just click. The next thing I want to do is I want to activate the same game object. I think what we should do is we should rename these guys, because otherwise it will be really difficult for us. So AK-47, M24, M4A1. Okay, and then there is this MP5K, I guess. Yeah, P5K. Alright, so and then what we can do is we can yeah, okay, it's over here, right? So let's start with the top one, and then specify the game object, and it will be the one. Make sure the FSM state is locked over here so that we can click anywhere else and it is not gonna disappear from here. And then we're gonna go to our player setup, and in there we're gonna find, so if you don't know how to open all of these by default, you have to just go ahead and say hold alt and then press this arrow, and it's gonna open everything. And same goes if you hold alt and press this again, it's gonna close everything. All right, so in my case I want to open everything, and then I want to close everything from here and just open it again, so everything is now okay. Then we have to drag in our 911 thing over here, and we're gonna activate it. All right, so just copy this one, come over here in AK-47, drag and drop the AK-47 in here, paste it over here, M24, and drag it up in there, M4A1, and drag that in here, and MP5K comes over here. So now we will be enabling the one which we just selected and disabling the one which is on the display. Cool. Okay, so that is actually working quite nicely. And now what we have to do is we have to say next frame event, I guess, next frame event, which means the just what happens immediately after we do all of this. So what happens after that, we say finished, and we go over there. Make sure you're not gonna come over here, it's gonna be there, so whenever we click that, we are gonna come over here, right? Okay, so copy this thing, copy, paste, 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 and paste, and just hold control and click, oops, click, and then we can go ahead and set them all over there. Cool. And let's just go ahead and quickly go ahead and add a new state over here. Just quickly do that, and I'm gonna go ahead and say I don't have any. So if we say get button down, oh, come on, get button down, and the button which we want to get down is the one which we just pressed over here. What is it? Change. So yeah, change, and I'm gonna go ahead and say new event and enable our character, because this is the thing that will okay it doesn't matter. Enable, and we're gonna say activate game object, or we can just copy these guys from here. So we have to deactivate these two. Yeah, paste, do that, and then we're gonna say finished and go over there. Okay, cool, and we're gonna say next frame event, say finished, and bam. So now if we play, we should be able to see what is happening over here. Okay, so if we press F and buy a weapon, let me just go ahead and buy the AK-47, and if I press F again, we should be able to see that we are holding AK-47 now. Okay, so that is pretty cool. Of course, I haven't set it up really nicely, and it's looking really awkward over there, but it is actually working, right? Now we can buy things over here, and of course you can use, you know, references like how to manage multiple guns and all that, but this is the base mechanics on how to buy weapons. All right. Okay, so I think that is a pretty long tutorial, and I hope you guys enjoyed and it helped you a lot. If you liked it, then go ahead and like my video, and if you want more tutorials like this, and make sure to subscribe my channel. And if you want, you can support me through PayPal. The link will be in the description box below. And that will be it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video.